Jeudy reveals who will be Cleveland's starting QB. This guy is different. No one noticed it at first. But what Jeudy said in that interview may have just exposed Cleveland's entire QB plan.
They drafted Gabriel, they drafted Shedeur Sanders. Has anybody stood out to you that's like, okay, this might be my quarterback, that I might be starting with him? Have you noticed anything? Has anybody stood out to you?
I feel like we got a great, the biggest thing that, I'm thankful for is just having four great quarterbacks, that go out there and compete every day. That been doing their thing.
Come on with that.
They been doing their thing, man. Yeah, I'm telling you what it is, man. We got four great quarterbacks, man. They all been doing their thing for real. So I'm just, my job is to make it easy. Whoever at the helm, I'm just gonna get open for them and do my thing for real. I don't got no control over that, man. Whoever the coaches choose and whoever they pick to be the quarterback, I'm just make their job easier when they throw me the ball.
Jeudy just revealed who Cleveland's starting quarterback will be, and it's not who you think. When Shannon Sharpe put him on the spot about the Browns' QB chaos, Jeudy's response dropped a bombshell that nobody saw coming. Instead of giving the typical "they're all great" response about Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Gabriel, and rookie sensation Shedeur Sanders, he let something slip that has the entire NFL buzzing. What he revealed about one specific quarterback might just change everything we thought we knew about Cleveland's 2025 season. And trust me, what comes next will leave you questioning if the Browns just found their franchise savior, or their biggest gamble yet. Look, we've all been here before. Another season, another quarterback controversy in Cleveland. But this time feels different. And it's not just because they've got four legitimate options competing for the job. It's because of what Jeudy, a guy who's been through quarterback hell in Denver, just revealed on Shannon Sharpe's Nightcap. Picture this. You're sitting across from one of the most respected voices in football, and he's asking you point blank about your team's biggest question mark. Most players would give you that cookie-cutter response, right? They're all competing. May the best man win, coach's decision. But Jeudy? Nah, man. Jeudy gave us something much more telling. When Shannon pressed him about whether anyone had stood out in the quarterback room, Jeudy's body language said it. All before his words even hit the air. That slight pause, that knowing look, you could feel something brewing. And then he dropped it. We got four great quarterbacks, man. They all been doing their thing for real. But here's where it gets interesting. You see, Jeudy didn't just say they were good. He said they were doing their thing. Each one of them. And when you break down what that means for each quarterback in that room, a clear picture starts to emerge. Let's talk about Joe Flacco first. The veteran, the steady hand. Jeudy knows what Flacco brings. That Super Bowl experience, that arm, strength that can still zip it into tight windows. But here's the thing about veterans in quarterback competitions. They're the safe choice, not necessarily the exciting one. And when Jeudy talks about wanting to be mentioned with the top 5, top 10 receivers in the league, you don't get there by playing it safe. Then there's Kenny Pickett. Look, Kenny's got talent. He showed flashes in Pittsburgh, but Jeudy's been around long enough to know the difference between flashes and sustained excellence. And when he mentions wanting that winning season, something he's never had in the NFL, you start to understand he's not just looking for competent. He's looking for special. Gabriel brings that college pedigree, that dual threat ability. But here's what separates the college stars from the NFL stars. It's not just about talent. It's about that intangible quality that makes everyone around you better. And this is where Jeudy's comments start painting a very specific picture. Because when Shannon asked if anyone stood out, Jeudy didn't deflect. He didn't give the typical non-answer. Instead, he talked about having four great quarterbacks who are all doing their thing. But the way he said it, the emphasis, the tone, it was like he was holding back something bigger. And then it hit me. We're not just talking about any four quarterbacks here. We're talking about a room that includes Shedeur Sanders, the son of Coach Prime, the quarterback who just dominated college football with a precision and poise that reminded people of his father in his prime. The guy who's been groomed for moments exactly like this since he was old enough to hold a football.
Four great quarterbacks, that go out there and compete every day. That been doing their thing.
Come on with that.
They been doing their thing, man. Yeah, I'm telling you what it is, man. We got four great quarterbacks, man. They all been doing their thing for real. So I'm just.
Now, here's where Jeudy's comments get really interesting. When he says his job is to make it easy for whoever's at the helm, he's not just talking about running good routes. He's talking about creating that chemistry, that connection that separates good receiving cores from great ones. And you know what kind of quarterback thrives in that environment? The kind that can process information quickly, make split-second decisions, and deliver the ball with timing and precision. Sound like anyone we know? Jeudy's been through the quarterback carousel before. In Denver, he dealt with different quarterbacks every game, different schemes, different coaching staffs. It was chaos. But look at what happened when he finally got to Cleveland and found some stability. 6th in receiving yards. His first Pro Bowl. A breakout season that reminded everyone why he was so highly touted coming out of Alabama. But here's the kicker. That success came with quarterbacks who, while competent, weren't necessarily elite. So imagine what happens when you pair Jeudy's route-running precision with a quarterback who has that special something. That it factor that separates the good from the great. And that's exactly what we might be looking at with Shedeur Sanders. Think about it. Jeudy grew up in South Florida. He's seen talent at every level. He played with Tua at Alabama. He's caught passes from Russell Wilson. He knows what elite quarterback play looks like. So when he sits across from Shannon Sharpe and talks about having 4 great quarterbacks, with that knowing smile, with that confidence in his voice, you better believe he's seen something special in practice. But let's dig deeper into what makes Shedeur different. This isn't just about arm strength or mobility. This is about football IQ. This is about that rare combination of preparation and instinct that you can't teach. Shedeur's been studying film since he was in middle school. He's been dissecting defenses, understanding leverage, recognizing coverage rotations while other kids his age were playing video games. And when Jeudy talks about the freedom he's been given in Cleveland's offense, the ability to adjust his splits, to work against leverage, to be creative with his route running. You know what kind of quarterback that pairs perfectly with? The kind that can see those adjustments happening in real time and adjust his reads accordingly. Jeudy mentioned how Coach Stefanski and the coaching staff let him be free because they trust his understanding of the game. Well, guess what happens when you have a quarterback who operates on that same level of football intelligence? Magic. Pure magic. Now, I'm not saying the other quarterbacks in that room don't have value. Flacco brings leadership. Pickett brings experience. Gabriel brings athleticism. But what Shedeur brings is something different. Something that aligns perfectly with what Jeudy needs to take that next step from Pro Bowl receiver to elite, top 5 in the league receiver. Because here's the truth that nobody wants to talk about. Jeudy's window is right now. He's 25 years old, in his prime, coming off his best season. He doesn't have time to wait for a project quarterback to develop or for a veteran to find his second wind. He needs someone who can maximize his talent right now, today, from game 1. And when you look at how Shedeur performed in college, that 74.8% completion percentage, those clutch fourth-quarter performances, that ability to make every throw on the route tree, you start to understand why Jeudy might be seeing something special in those practice sessions. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Jeudy's not just any receiver. He's a technician. He's a student of the game. When he breaks down his pre-snap process, looking at safety leverage, understanding coverage, anticipating how to attack different defensive alignments, that's next level stuff. And you know what kind of quarterback appreciates that level of detail? The kind that's been doing the same thing from the other side of the ball his entire life. Remember, Shedeur didn't just stumble into college success. He earned it by out-preparing his opponents, by understanding defensive concepts better than most defensive coordinators, by making the kind of throws that require not just talent, but supreme confidence in your receiver's ability to be exactly where they're supposed to be. And that's exactly what Jeudy brings to the table. When Shannon asked about goals for the upcoming season, Jeudy didn't just talk about individual stats. He talked about winning. He talked about reaching the playoffs. For the first time in his career, that tells you everything you need to know about his mindset. He's not just looking for a quarterback who can get him the ball. He's looking for a quarterback who can lead them to wins. Now, I've watched enough football to know that rookie quarterbacks, no matter how talented, face unique challenges in the NFL. The speed of the game, the complexity of the defenses, the pressure of expectations, it's a lot. But here's what separates the special ones from the rest. They don't just survive those challenges, they thrive in them. And everything we're hearing from Cleveland's camp, Everything we're seeing in Jeudy's comments suggests that Shedeur might just be one of those special ones. Think about the context here. Cleveland's not just throwing a rookie into the fire and hoping for the best. They've got weapons. They've got Jeudy, who's proven he can be a -- 1 receiver. They've got a coaching staff that's shown they can develop offensive talent. They've got an environment where a young quarterback can succeed. But more than that, they've got a quarterback room where competition brings out the best in everyone. When Jeudy talks about having 4 quarterbacks who are all doing their thing, he's describing exactly the kind of environment that pushes talent to reach its potential. And in that environment, with Jeudy's route-running precision, with his understanding of leverage and coverage, with his ability to create separation and make contested catches, you create the perfect storm for a young quarterback to find success quickly. Because here's the real secret sauce. Jeudy doesn't just run routes. He runs routes with purpose. Every step, every cut, every hand placement is calculated to create the maximum advantage. And when you pair that level of precision with a quarterback who processes the game at the same speed, at the same level of detail, you don't just get completions. You get explosive plays. You get touchdown drives. You get wins. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. But what about the other quarterbacks? What about the veteran leadership? What about playing it safe? And look, I get it. The safe play would be to start Flacco, let Shedeur learn from the bench, maybe work him in gradually. But here's the thing about playing it safe in the NFL. It usually gets you 8 to 9 wins and a middle-of-the-pack draft pick. And Jeudy's made it clear that's not what he's here for. He wants to compete for championships. He wants to be mentioned with the elite receivers in the league. And you don't get there by playing it safe. You get there by recognizing special talent. When you see it and giving it every opportunity to succeed. And based on everything we're hearing, everything we're seeing in Jeudy's comments and body language, that special talent might just be wearing number 2 in a Browns uniform. But here's the million-dollar question. Is Cleveland ready to bet their season on a rookie quarterback, even one as talented as Shedeur Sanders? Are they ready to hand the keys to the offense to a 22-year-old and trust that his preparation, his talent, and his football IQ can overcome the typical rookie growing pains? Because make no mistake, that's exactly what we might be looking at here. And if Jerry Jeudy's subtle hints are any indication, it might not be as crazy as it sounds. After all, this is a receiver who's caught passes from some pretty good quarterbacks. He knows what elite looks like. He knows what championship-level play feels like. And when he sits across from Shannon Sharpe and talks about his quarterback room with that confidence, with that hint of excitement in his voice, you better believe he's seen something that has him believing this season could be different. The question is, are you ready for what comes next? Because if Jerry Jeudy is right, if what he's seeing in practice translates to Sunday afternoons, we might be witnessing the beginning of something special in Cleveland. Something that could change not just the Browns' trajectory, but the entire landscape of the AFC North. And it all starts with a rookie quarterback who might just be ready to prove that sometimes the biggest risk is the one that leads to the biggest reward. So there you have it. Jerry Jeudy didn't come out and say it directly, but the signs are all there. The way he talked about having 4 great quarterbacks, the confidence in his voice, that subtle hint that something special might be brewing in Cleveland, it all points to one conclusion. Shedeur Sanders might be a lot closer to that starting job than anyone realizes. What do you think? Are the Browns about to shock the NFL by handing the keys to a rookie? Or am I reading too much into Jeudy's comments? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know if you caught the same vibes I did from that interview. And if you want to stay ahead of all the breaking news and insider analysis like this, make sure you smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Because trust me, this quarterback battle in Cleveland is just getting started, and you don't want to miss what happens next.